How are you? I am Lee Lei. Today we are going to talk about a biography, Audrey Hepburn. Everyone knows this name. She is a superstar in everyone's eyes. After reading this book, we will find that in the eyes of the person who knows her best, Hepburn's eldest son Sean, she is a star that cannot see her own light. How do you explain this metaphor? Although Hepburn was already a popular woman and had received numerous recognitions, she still felt that she was not beautiful enough and not good enough in private. She was incomplete in both career and love. A perfect person cannot arouse our emotions, but a real person can often resonate with us. How did this star, who could not see his own light, be seen by others? What did he go through to create his awkward personality that made it difficult for him to admit his excellence? Why did such a twisted person do charity work in his later years? Let's start with this book and walk into the life of Audrey Hepburn. When Hepburn was 6 years old, his father ran away from home without warning and never returned. This was a huge childhood shadow for Hepburn. As a result, he kept looking for the missing father's love after he became an adult, and he always demanded a sense of security. But Hepburn received a very good education under the protection of her mother during her childhood. Well, this education is also very harsh in our eyes. In 1948, Hepburn came to England, so when I started reading the excerpt, I would say that this was a very important year for Hepburn. He was very busy this year, and this busyness was just to support herself. Hepburn began to shoot print advertisements and acted as an extra to earn a living while learning ballet. It was during this period that, although life was very difficult and her days were very full, Hepburn's star temperament gradually emerged. Everyone who looked at her would think, "Wow, this girl is very different." Audrey's grace and poise made her stand out in any crowd. One morning, she received a life-changing call from Leonard at United Pictures, a pivotal moment that would define her career. He came from Hollywood, and his boss asked him to find an actress, because they were going to shoot a movie, which was to be filmed in Rome the following summer. We knew it right away, right? It was the well-known Roman holiday. In 1966, Hepburn was already 37 years old. At that time, the whole environment of Hollywood began to change. Teenagers determined the market. What did people like? They liked those very trendy and cool cultures, including Paito and Andy Warhol, whose influence was getting stronger and stronger. Well, at this time, Mel was Hepburn's husband, and he realized that Hepburn had to transform, otherwise she might be eliminated. Then Hepburn shot a movie produced by her husband called The Blind Woman. This movie earned her the 5th Oscar nomination. But after this movie, he made a decision to stay away from his son for 8 years. Why did he make this decision? Hepburn said it was to accompany his son. He could no longer bear to be separated from his son. We are thinking that at this time, only Zhang Wen was the only warmth and light in Hepburn's desperate life, so this was the last straw for Hepburn. At the same time, Hepburn made a decision, which was her official separation from her husband. It seems that when a woman is no longer trapped by love, she becomes very powerful and radiant. Hepburn is keen on charity. He is not just doing superficial work, but doing things for children in poor areas sincerely. He began to use his charm as an international superstar confidently and boldly, using his face, influence, fundraising, and charity. He told everyone, "Whispering is life. If you can no longer whisper to others, you have no purpose in life." In 1988 alone, Hepburn visited 14 countries to raise more funds to help more poor people. How much money did he raise? More than $22 million. Well, Audrey Hepburn has completely changed. When he promoted his movies, he would only agree to 3 or 4 interviews at most. But now he does at least 15 interviews a day for those poor children. Everyone admired him and said, "Oh, you have sacrificed so much." How did he answer? He said it was not sacrifice. Sacrifice means giving up something you want because of something you don't want. But I didn't do it that way. This is the gift I got. On January 20th, 1993, Hepburn passed away from a malignant tumor. In his last Christmas, he was a music king. The securities network does not hope for recovery, but for peace. You see, the Hepburn of her childhood and teenage years is back. He would think that peace is so important, it is so important. He believed that only when peace came, water could quench the thirst of all children, food could nourish the body, medicine could make them recover, and they could live happily and without worries. Many years after Hepburn's death, his colleague who worked with him at UNICEF, well, including those who have worked with him or joined these things under his inspiration, they have witnessed the results of this foundation. So many poor children have been helped, and some have grown up to become artists. They will look at photos of Hepburn in her later years, looking at the wrinkled, very thin woman, and exclaim, "Oh, she is incredibly beautiful, so delicate." This is Hepburn's real life.